everyone. Welcome to episode 3. Wow, we are getting through these, man. We are at episode 3. This is the Board Talkers podcast. We talk about everything mental to do with snowboarding and sports. So we're going to get into everything to do with all of that, how our weeks have been, because we haven't done one of these podcasts for a while. So, yeah. James, welcome. How the hell
Chris, are you? We're on episode 3. How many's Joe Rogan done? Has he done more than 3?
I think we're going to catch up soon, aren't we? We've got to get there.
He's probably getting quite nervous, actually, isn't he?
Yeah, we're creeping up. Well, do you know what? I've been watching... it's more of a snowboard-related one. It's called The Bomb Hole. They just get all the pro snowboarders in there and just get into it. Get into their minds, get into everything they've done, and it's so cool. But they're up to maybe 200. So, yeah, we're creeping there, man. We'll get there.
Next year, mate, next year.
Yeah, this time next year. So how have you been, man? What's been going on?
Yeah, been good. Since we last spoke, I did finished the marathon.
You did.
Been ticking over with work. Got a few new clients. Yeah, so that's all been going good. But yeah, the main thing is the marathon, really.
I want to hear about everything to do with this marathon. I really do.
Yeah, it was great experience, Chris. It was really good experience. I learned a lot, made a few mistakes. Obviously kind of tested my physical strength and my mental strength more than I've ever done. So yeah, I got a lot out of it, and it was a really cool experience. I really enjoyed it.
Nice. That's cool, man. So so you did a lot of training before you actually got into the actual marathon day. How many hours would you say you've done, or miles, kilometers? How did you do your training? How did you get into that?
Well, yeah, I was doing about 20. I was doing maybe about 40, between 40 and 50 kilometers a week, something like that.
Which is quite
a few short runs.
How many was it
and then
in the actual marathon? That was about
42.
42. So you're doing basically a marathon a week.
Something like that, yeah. And basically, the way I worked it, Chris, was my training, my nutrition and hydration, they were all terrible leading up to the marathon.
Right.
I'd kind of put myself in a difficult position, not hydrating enough, not having enough carbs, doing too much kind of endurance training. But what that did, it gave me the mental confidence at the start of the race, because I knew that just before the race, my nutrition was good. I knew that I'd be hydrating constantly, basically.
Yeah.
I had energy gels to consume during the race. So I went into the race feeling very, very confident that I could finish it in a good time. And then obviously you've got the other aspects during the race, the kind of mental side of it.
Did you hit that wall?
I didn't actually. No, I didn't.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah, the only thing that happened. Well, the only serious thing that happened was after about 27 kilometers. The belt that I was wearing with the energy gels in and my phone. Right. That really started to pressurize my stomach.
Right.
So I from about 27 kilometers, I needed the toilet, but I couldn't remember where they were on the map.
Oh, man.
And I didn't see any for about 10 kilometers, and I had to run into a shopping plaza off the road.
Right.
Run into a shopping plaza, go into a KFC.
Wow.
Use the toilet and then kind of run back out.
Wow.
So that was the only real problem I had. I had.
That's what was that British runner that did that? Female.
What, Paula Radcliffe, is it?
Paula Radcliffe, yeah, she disappeared into the loo, didn't she, halfway through a marathon?
Yeah. So that was the only kind of like
Nice, man.
problem I had. But
Did you have nipple sores? Because I've heard that's quite a common thing in running.
No, I didn't have nipple sores.
You were wearing
I've never had
tape.
nipple sores.
It must be the fabric people who I've heard that. Yeah, I mean, I've done treadmill before, and I thought after half an hour, yeah, this is probably not the right top to be wearing. So I can imagine doing a few hours in a race. That's probably where it comes from. But that's great, man. That's really good to hear. How
I didn't have the nipples. I didn't have the nipple sores. Didn't have anything like that. I didn't have any real body problems or like serious pain when it got to around about 27, just before 30 kilometers.
Yeah,
it got to about 26 degrees.
Right.
And that was a real kind of mental battle for the next kind of 12, 13, 14 kilometers. It was tough. It was hot. Couldn't get out of the sun. Just had to kind of stay focused on the hydration and make sure that I was doing that like
plenty
correctly.
of refreshment stands on the way, so they keep an eye on you, keeping all of that.
Yeah, you get at each stand, which is about every 2 kilometers, you get an electrolyte and a water. So I constantly had a water, and I would just change that and get an electrolyte every.
Tell me about the electrolyte. What does that do? I've heard about these, but what do they do? What do you benefit from it?
Yeah, well, hitting the wall. They call it something else. Well, I don't know if you call it bonking or barfing or something. But hitting the wall means that at that 32, 33 kilometer mark, you've used up all the glycogen, you've used up all the sugar in your system, and your body shifts the energy source to fat and other things.
Right.
Now that takes a long time to access that, so your body kind of slows down and shuts down.
Right.
So you've got to keep that glycogen store stocked way before you even get close to 30 kilometers.
I'm with you.
So you've got to focus on that.
You're preparing your body. You're preparing for that. What will happen, and it's like reducing. You just still get. It still happens, but it just reduces it, or does it eliminate it?
You can kind of eliminate it. Basically, you can kind of eliminate if you've stocked up on carb. I mean, I was eating 800 grams of carbs.
Yeah, pasta and potatoes, things like that.
Yeah, before 2-3 days before.
Right.
And then you've got your energy gels, and then you've got your electrolytes, and you've got to keep that like stocked up. So you can't say after 15 kilometers start like drinking electrolyte. You've got to keep it kind of constantly topped up, otherwise it goes.
Yeah. Got it.
And you can't get out of it, Chris. So that's the kind of mental aspect in terms of battling with your mind and the pain, but also the mental side of things where you've got to kind of stay focused on what's happening.
Let's have a dive into that, because the mental side, obviously this podcast is very mental related, but yes, we talk about snowboarding quite a lot, but this is really interesting to find a different aspect of where you're using that mental game for, well, in your case, running marathons. How did you keep yourself focused? What did you do along the way? Did you look for markets like key sites? What is it? What's going on in your mind to keep you going, basically?
Yeah, well, before like all of it, I'd kind of visualized the whole race, like blocks of the race, about how the race was going to go,
right,
and what I was going to do in those different parts.
Yeah.
So I'd practiced that while I was out training, and so that's one part. The other part was I went into it knowing in my mind that I could get to 33 kilometers without any proper hydration or proper carbs or proper fuel.
Right.
So I'd built up the mental strength and the confidence beforehand, and then done the visualization as well before the start of the race. And then during the race, Yeah.
Really pleased to
Go
hear
on,
you
sorry.
say you talk about visualizing, because we go into that a lot and the benefits of it, but to apply that to something like running, doing that before a race, that's brilliant. That's, you know what, F1 drivers do that. They visualize like the turns, the corners, not, you know, where to put all of that, where to line the car and all that. So applying it to running is really interesting to find out how you did that. So no, that's cool, man. I'm really pleased to hear you doing that.
And then I got, for example, here where I live and where part of the race was also where I trained.
Right.
So when I got here, my visuals were connected totally to the reality. So I knew the road, I knew what it felt like, I knew what it was like going uphill.
Right.
I'd done all that before, so I had like a real strong like connection to my visual and the kind of like reality, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was the confidence and the visuals. And then during the race, it was, you know, talking to myself, reassuring myself what I was doing, you know, telling myself that you're kind of strong and you've still got a lot of energy, and at every milestone, kind of celebrating that in my mind, saying, right, that's 1 down, 2 down, 4.
What were your
5,
milestones? 7. What were your like key milestones along the way?
It was 8 kilometers. Every time I got to 8 kilometers, which is a kind of training circuit, I'd be like, right, okay, there's like 4 to go, or 3 to go, or 2 to go, or 1 to go, and celebrate that fact, and then tell myself that this is just the same as the training circuit. You've got another 2 circuits to go.
Yeah. So kind of making us feel as normal as possible. It's it's a big event, it's a marathon, but you're treating it exactly the same as your training, so you don't overthink it. You don't have overthought, like your body going into like a different operation, that kind of way. You're just kind of treating it as if it's any other run.
Yeah, it was exactly like that, Chris.
Wow.
So it wasn't something different or unusual or strange, even though it was the longest that I've ever run.
Yeah.
I was just kind of connecting my mind and my body to the training that I'd already done, basically. So it was just kind of a repetition of that.
Do you,
and then
music?
I had like,
What do you listen to? What gets you through?
The Wurzels. I'm joking.
we had a chat before the show today, and I was talking about a festival I went to, and I saw the Wurzels there. So obviously singing, I've got a brand new combine harvester. So that's where that little comment came from. Thank you for that, James.
So the music is some kind of rock music with words, so something like U2 or Oasis or something like that. So not necessarily my favorite music, but something with a good beat and something with some kind of positive, like and emotional words. And what that does, Chris, what it did was it took my mind somewhere else. So instead of mentally focusing on the pain or worrying about the pain or the distance, I was thinking about the words, getting in some kind of flow or zone, maybe thinking about old times, university, or my friends, or something like that. I was completely disconnected from the pain and worrying about the pain because I was in like another place, basically. So the music definitely helped.
There's probably a phrase for that in your world. I mean, it's just applying positivity to whatever it is you do. In the snowboarding that I do, I listen to beats, as we've been through this in the past. It's the beat that gets me going. It helps get rid of the noise. So like the bad thoughts, or what if I don't go on this rail? What if I don't do this kick? You know, the beat just helps me. It's like driving me. It's like the beat that keeps me going. But you're using it as a positive way to push away the pain, forget about the pain, think about the positive, and keep you driving forward.
Yeah.
A different
well, there's that, and there's a kind of getting me in like a flow of I'm not thinking about the pain. Yeah, you're right. I'm not thinking about my body, but I'm in some kind of like meditative zone, basically.
Yeah.
So I've got a whole album there, and I'll just go through the whole album, and I'm not thinking about the pain, not thinking about body, not thinking about another 30 kilometers.
Yeah. Did you find it easy?
So yeah. Well, I had like a few. I arrived at the start line, 30 minutes before the race, and I ended up way back.
Right.
So I kind of had to mentally accept that I was too far away from where I wanted to be at the start.
Yeah.
I kind of had to work through that.
Yeah.
And then I made a couple of mistakes where I got in the zone with a group around about 5 kilometers. And we stayed together for about 12 kilometers. And we got to this kind of junction, and that group all went off left.
Yeah. Because
they were doing the half marathon.
Oh, okay.
And I carried on going.
Right.
And it could have been a bit of a wobble. Could have been, I think, like, oh my God, I've been going too fast. But I just kind of reassured myself and said, that you can run at this pace. You've been running faster than normal, but you feel good. You feel okay. Yeah. So I didn't have too many real problems, Chris. To be honest, it was really just well managed. Yeah, I felt really, really pleased afterwards.
Well done, mate. I mean, we went through this a while back, and I've been keeping an eye on how it's all been going with it. I'm really proud of you for doing it, because I wouldn't do it. It's not my thing. I can't run. I get shin splints. So I'm not a runner. But to do something like that is amazing. So well done, mate. And I'm sure all the friends of the podcast will leave some comments and give you some.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, cheers.
It's really good to hear that. So when's your next one?
Well, this is what happened basically. I got back. We kind of had a little celebration with my girlfriend and my daughter. Yeah. And then I went to bed for 3 hours.
Right.
Woke up and they were online saying, "Oh my God, there's one in this place. We're going to register you for that one."
They must have really enjoyed you being there to put you into another one.
Yeah, and I was like,
mint.
"What? I've just finished one," and they were like, "Yeah, but it's in April and it's in this cool place." So yeah, probably in April, and yeah, they gave me like you don't do anything on your own, really, Chris, and they gave me a lot of support, and they had a lot of patience with me. It's not easy going out running for 2-3 hours, and having a family and all that. It takes up a lot of time. Do you know what I mean? So they were very, very supportive. And the funny last thing about this, the funny thing was, because I wasn't eating enough, and because I wasn't hydrating enough on my training runs, when I came back after kind of 25-30 kilometers, I looked like a madman. Hair everywhere, red eyes, red head.
Who is this man?
And I think they were a little bit kind of like, what's he doing? Yeah. And I ran past the house. There's a road called Colosio, and they were waiting there with some friends and the video camera and stuff.
Yeah.
And because I'd prepared my food, because I'd had the energy gels and the hydration, when I came past them, they actually said, "Oh my God, he actually looks okay."
Okay.
Because normally they're used to seeing me like a wild man.
Yeah. It's just training.
Yeah. So they were a bit surprised. I think they were thinking I'd be struggling or something. So yeah. And it was a good.
What was your time?
Boost. Yeah, I got 4 hours 2 seconds.
Bloody hell, man.
Which I wanted to get 3 hours 45. But with the toilet stop.
Yeah.
Lost a bit of momentum and lost maybe about 10, 15
you'll have to get
minutes
back into it and back up to where you were, aren't you?
4
hours is still good. That's still amazing for your first one. My old boss, he was doing these marathons in his mid-40s, I think, and he was doing 3 hours, but he was a regular marathon runner. I think they're maybe just over 3 hours, something like that. But for your first one to do 4 is incredible. Nice one, man. It's really
good. Man. And there's a lot of similarities between the snowboarding and our conversations, Chris, because I started off at kind of 2-4 kilometers, something like that. Right. And then I just slowly added something to it and built up a little bit of confidence. and then added another 2 kilometers, and that went up to 6, and then 8, and then 10. You know, so I didn't do anything that was too challenging.
Yeah.
But I was still kind of pushing myself a little bit. And then before long, like you with the snowboarding tricks, I felt comfortable going out and doing 16 kilometers, like you feel comfortable going up to a rail or doing your kind of tricks.
Yeah,
So I built up that confidence.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. Yeah, it's, I mean, yours is more, there's obviously a lot of mental side to that, but the stamina as well, you have to build up the stamina. So you're just doing a little more each time to get that distance in your legs and, well, your whole body really.
Yeah, and you've got that conversation. The main mental part of it, Chris, is your body and your mind are saying stop.
Right.
Yeah. You can't carry on.
Yeah.
And you've got to override that. You've got to, you've just got to override that and say that, like, no, I can keep going, and I am going to keep going. What
was your driving force? Did you have a reason for it? Obviously, you wanted to complete the marathon, but is there a reason that you have all of these like these drives and you're convincing yourself? What's your goal? What was you aiming for?
Well, it started with a kind of conversation with my daughter, and she's got some dreams and ideas for her life and stuff like that, and we were kind of talking about it. And she was kind of asking me. No, she's kind of asking me what kind of things did I do when I was young, and it got me thinking that basically I can do or have done all of these things, and she sees me doing these things,
right?
And I was thinking, well, here's an opportunity for me to kind of like show her what I can do, but also that you start off with an idea or a dream, and how do you go from like 0 to the dream? And it was planning and training and practice and up and down and good days and bad days, but you kind of keep going in the direction of where you want to go. And she was part of that, so she could see me trying something and it didn't work, and she could see me having a good run and a bad run and going through the whole process. So that was the motivation, that was the drive.
Fantastic.
To say to her, look, you've got a dream, whatever it is, you're going to have ups and downs, but stay focused on your dream and you'll get there. That was the motivation.
That's amazing. Good. Yeah, what a very good dad thing to do as a parent. That's like giving your kid something to look towards, to look up to. She's going to remember that. No, that's nice, man.
And she didn't have any idea that there'd be thousands of runners.
Really?
Be like
just thought it'd be you.
Of fans.
Just you.
Yeah, she didn't know any of that. Like when we went to get the starter pack, there was thousands of people there. There was like photographers and stuff, and she was like, oh, "Hang on a minute, this is like something serious here." So it was good. So that was the drive, Chris, and because I'd kind of told her that I was going to do it, there was no way that I could not do it, basically.
Okay, you committed yourself. You didn't want to let her down. I see now. I get it. No, but that's good.
Yeah, one of the snowboarders said to me, "Why don't you just buy a motorbike?" And I was like, "Yeah, I probably should have just bought a motorbike, shouldn't I?"
I had someone in the news has been banned from marathons for a year because they used a car halfway around. So they've actually been banned.
Oh, really?
Oh man, it was on BBC News, so it must be important. I couldn't believe that. I mean, you're doing a marathon. They're gonna know. They're gonna know, man. You're not like what's it called? Kip Rock. Kenyan.
Kipchoge.
Yeah. There's so many of them. They're incredible, aren't they? But
well, you've got a microchip in your
precisely
in your number.
You're never going to get like you went like 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour for this little bit. Explain yourself. Don't think you're going to be able to get out of that one. The
electrolyte kicked in.
Yeah. Did you not see the fire trail? Come on now. Don't use a bike. Don't use a car. That's not good.
Yeah, you
But,
can't get away with it, man, and I don't see the point in doing it.
nah,
You
you're
know,
only cheating
there's
yourself,
no
aren't you?
point.
What are you doing it for? Are you in it for financial gain, or are you doing it for yourself? Because if you're doing it for yourself and you use a vehicle or some help along the way, when I mean help, I mean, you know, a bike or something. You know, I know that a lot of runners get motivation from other people, or, you know, they're pulling them along, whatever it is. That's fine, you know, that's fine. But using like a mechanism to speed you up, that's not cool. That's you're only
No,
cheating
not at all.
yourself doing that. But nice, man.
And I remember one of our conversations, Chris, where you were saying that you get inspiration from other people while you're at the slopes, and you see
Yep.
your friends trying something, or you see
Yep.
somebody doing something. That definitely happens during the race. You
Right.
kind of latch onto a group.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of pumping each other up,
Great.
saying, "Come on, we can do this," and you kind of feed off that vibe and that energy, and it's really cool.
Were you expecting that?
I wasn't expecting it at all.
Okay.
I was just thinking this is going to be a battle, physical and mental battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't know about any of that. I mean, there was live music, there was like bands playing during there was all kinds of stuff, and it was like, it was quite good. Yeah, it was quite a good experience, man.
I mean, for me, that would be a sensory overload if there's too much going on. You know, when I like focusing, it's like I need to focus on that one thing. But if there's like stuff going on here and there and all this, it would try and interfere for me for sure. So you've done well to work with that, I guess. Probably the best way.
Yeah, it's
using it to your advantage.
Yeah, it kind of gets you pumped up, and you see people and they're supporting you, and you start feeling quite emotional. You kind of get out of the zone for a few minutes, and you get back into it, and something snaps you back out. It's important, all that. Well, basically, when I saw my daughter, my girlfriend here, that gave me such a boost.
Right.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'd had boosts up to that point, but when I saw them, it kind of made it like real. And I kind of ran past them on one side, came back on the other side, and it was like, that positive support and love, or whatever you want to call it, is super important. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Would you, I mean, now that you know that you've got this experience, have you got anything you'd take away and use again in the next one? Whether it's you bring your family along again, or you do things different, or you do things the same. What have you learned? What are you going to reuse, I guess?
Yeah, sure. Well, definitely get some kind of professional coach to help me with the kind of training plan. Definitely. Yeah, that
sounds like
that
you're taking it a bit more serious then.
Yeah, so that would help, definitely. So that then make some kind of like some marginal gains. So improve some of my equipment, like the shoes.
Yeah.
You know, put more focus on my diet during the training period.
Yeah.
Bit of focus on speed training, not just the endurance.
Yeah.
You know, so just some kind of marginal gains in some different areas, really, Chris.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Nice.
But the most important thing for me was that I was mentally prepared for it. That I was like,
yeah, sure.
I'm in a position where I know mentally that I can do it. Whatever happens, I can overcome it. And that gave me a lot of confidence on the start line. It was like, whatever happens, I'm strong enough to do it. And
you've worked with a lot of clients with their game. Obviously, I'm one of those. But you've worked with a lot of other athletes and non-athletes as well, getting them, you know, where they want to be in the goals or in their life or whatever it is. So you've got a lot of input from all of those people. Did you use any of that? Did you apply any of that? Is that something you take, or is it just kind
of course, yeah, of course, yeah. Those hundreds and hundreds of coaching sessions that I've had, Chris, I get something from it as well. Right. So when somebody like you've created some solutions for yourself, and other clients have created solutions, I can say, well, I can take that and I can use that.
Yeah.
You know, things like trying to create the perfect conditions to do something, that just ends up becoming an excuse.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to try this today because of these other factors. Yeah. I didn't do that. I said, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
regardless of the conditions,
Right.
just to get the mental strength that I can do it when it's hot, when it's cold, when it's raining, when it's 4 a.m., when it's 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that came from all my coaching sessions with a lot of like different clients. Am I avoiding something? Am I creating conditions, trying to create conditions so that I do something? Can I do it without those things? You know, lots of stuff like that.
Yeah. You've taken a lot away then. And
yeah,
that's good.
And I see it with clients when a client's focused on something or when they're not focused on something. And is that because they don't want to do it? Is it because they haven't got the confidence?
Yeah.
How do you build confidence?
Yeah.
So all of that, those experiences, I just incorporated into my own training.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of that work, trying to work out. You asked the right questions, or you asked a lot of questions to make me think about different aspects of what it is I was doing at the time. But it's asking the right questions, I think, is the right thing there. So I guess with what you do with all these other clients, you are trying to get them to talk basically, so they can understand where they're at, where they're going, and for you to look at that and use it in what you did with the marathon. That's quite interesting.
Well, yeah. So if you take something like confidence, Chris, when somebody says I'm not confident, you say, well, what do you need to? What needs to happen to become confident? What do you need to see? What do you need to feel? What do you need to experience so that you become confident in doing this thing? Yeah. You know, simple question like that. People just say to themselves that they're not confident. Well, you've got to work out what do you need to become confident, for example. You know, something like that.
$1 million question, that is it. What do you need to get that answer?
Yeah. So people just automatically say, I'm not confident in trying this thing, or I'm not confident to do something new. So it's like, okay, well, you're not, but what do you need to get there? What do you need to see? How do you break that down?
Right.
You know. Right. And I know the ways, or the things that people should use, or the things that people should see to build confidence. But it's better if it actually comes from the person themselves, if they create that.
Yeah, and we did this. I mean? We did a lot of this. And it's interesting because the last few weeks of me snowboarding, the kicker, that's the jump for non-snowboarded people out there, the jump that I use to do my tricks on has been great. So my confidence has been up because I've been able to trust the jump and do the tricks. I know I'm going to land it. But before that, the kickers have been a little bit, they haven't been the ones that work with me. They've sent me up rather than across. So when you're trying to do a trick and you're up there, so it doesn't work for me. So that plays on your mind, that plays on your confidence a little bit. But the last few weeks, the kicker has been brilliant. I've even like commented to the local company that runs the indoor place and the people that run it. It has been good, and a lot of other people have said the same as well. The parks have been brilliant, but the vibes as well, like people have been like happy and positive and really in a good place, and there's been a lot of tricks laid down by a lot of people. So if you're in the right frame of mind, confidence is there. Sky's the limit.
And how have you got to that like frame of mind, Chris? Because you seem to have been in this position for like the last like few weeks and months, really, going and having great sessions.
It has. I've definitely moved on a hell of a lot, I would say, in the last 3 or 4 months. Consistency is key. You know, it really is important to go every week. It's difficult when, as I say, that like some of the features aren't up to the standard that you want to work with. That's been a bit frustrating. But then you have to be creative and use other features that are available and work on other things maybe. But they drive your other tricks as well. They can also let down other tricks as well, like play on your mind, didn't do that quite right, maybe I won't do it in this trick. So there's a lot of noise going on, but the work we did, I can silence that. I can focus my mind strictly on what I'm doing at that point in time. But things have moved on a hell of a lot. There was an event on...
just on that point, Chris, sure. how does the consistency, how does the going every week, how has that helped you build confidence?
It's more natural. So, for example, rails, I've just been doing as many 50-50s. So that's where there's the rail. You're jumping on the rail and you're going in line with the rail. That's your 50-50. I've just been doing as many of those as possible, so I'm not even thinking about them. It just happens. It's almost as if it's like automatic pilot. And that's where that consistency has come from. Same with the 360s. I mean, they're a little bit different because each week the kicker is slightly different. The rails are always the same. They're always the same shape. You know, they might be a little bit high, a little bit low, but they're the same shape, so you can get consistency with that. But the kickers, they can be, the takeoff could be slightly higher or slightly lower, or the float afterwards, the jump could be longer, the landing could be, there's a lot of different variations with the kickers, and that plays a little bit with consistency because you can't do it as much. But yeah, just doing repeat over and over and over again, make it as natural and automatic as possible. That works really well. And that has helped with my consistency. Definitely.
That's the flow, isn't it? Basically, you're in the flow, then you're in the zone.
You're more relaxed. Yeah, you're relaxed. You're not like you're not tense or anything. You're breathing properly. You're relaxed. You're flowing into it. It just happens. It's natural. Whereas obviously when you're learning a new trick, you can be a little bit tense, and that's where things don't go quite right because you're not flowing properly. You're not moving properly. You're quite stiff, and it doesn't work as well. But yeah, definitely moved on. So I'm really happy with progress there. In fact, go on.
It sounds like you're also trying a lot of other things as well, Chris. You've got more options, more tricks to choose from when you're going there. How's that come about?
Yeah. Again, let's just focus on the kickers because I've been spending a lot of time doing kickers. The start of the night, the sort of slowly get to where I want to, and then they kind of peak, and they're like, yes, I'm happy with that. And then I carry on doing them like 2-3 hours, and they just drop off, and it's like, yeah, I've got no energy to do this. I can barely get them turned around. So there's like a point where I should just stop. But I don't. I just carry on anyway and carry on doing them. But that's not a good idea.
So how many would you do then in a good session?
It's so difficult. Yeah, it could be 30, 40. It's
wow.
It's 2 minutes to get to the top of the slope. It's 20 minutes to get down. I'm there for 2 or 3 hours. Do the maths. There's a lot of runs you can get in there. So yeah, there's quite a lot of jumps. I think maybe 40 might be a bit high. It's probably maybe somewhere like 20 or 30, something like that. But it's a lot. It's a lot to get confident. And to be honest, even when they've not come around right, or I've fallen, or whatever happened, I just carry on. It's like I've accepted the fact that I'm learning these. I'm getting more confident. There will be errors, but you just get back to it. I even had quite a bad slam a couple of weeks ago. Caught an edge, flipped backwards, did a backwards handstand. I mean, must have looked quite spectacular. Not intended in any way. Should have claimed that. Yeah, there's a new trick I'm working on.
Have we got any videos of this?
No, I don't. That's, honestly, as soon as the camera comes out, that's where it goes horribly, horribly wrong. I just tell people, just do it discreetly if you're going to film. So I don't know about it. But I just carry on. It's like I've accepted there will be errors, so I just get back up and just try it again. Just keep doing it, and getting it right. And that's the difference. It's the confidence and the adrenaline, the push, the power. I want to do this. I want to get it right. I want to get there. But the tricks I've been doing, I've been adding grabs into 360s, like the new 360 that I learned a few months ago. I've started adding grabs into that now, so that's got to a point where I'm confident with that. And even Thursday last week, there's 2 good ones that I can remember. Grab, and it went round, landed it properly. I was like, yes. So I was very happy with that.
That's a great sign, Chris, isn't it? That you're kind of confident in your body, and you've got also a bit of creativity, that you're willing to try something.
Yeah, it is. I'm feeling it at the end of these sessions, though. The last couple of weeks, I've been barely even able to walk out of the place because I've been trying so hard and working so hard, having a lot of slams and just getting up and carrying on anyway. So the adrenaline, that's the thing at the time. The adrenaline's so high, you don't feel the pain. You just realise that, crap, that was a bad fall, or something happened there, or you're tired, but you just push through, you carry on. But it's afterwards when you stop, it's like, oh, can't move. Everything hurts. My knees hurt, my hips hurt, I'm falling there. It's like everything just seizes up. And the next day I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I'm not in a good place. But yeah, there's.
Can you do anything to help with that?
I think there's some conditioning that needs to be done with that to avoid it. I mean, it's dangerous sport. You are jumping. You're jumping, you're landing, you're floating. You're doing dangerous tricks, and you can't avoid it every time. So I haven't injured myself. I haven't had any like bad injuries. It's just more like fatigue and just well-used joints, I think. So I'm doing, I've actually started a new business project to do with marketing. And part of that is I want to get visitors to go to my site to buy products, which is part of the marketing. But I've actually started doing some training videos, just basic ones using resistance band, which is such a cheap piece of equipment, but so effective. And even my personal trainer, she gets a resistance band out all the time. And we do a lot of work with that. I mean, she's like putting weights on me and doing other things as well. But the resistance band, it's like, £10 for a pack of 5. It's so ridiculously cheap.
Wow.
But they're so effective. You're using your own body strength to strengthen yourself. And the resistance band is essentially getting your muscles working and fired up. So yeah, I'm putting together a lot of those videos. So I think the conditioning I need to do is more on that
point, Chris. Sorry to interrupt, but on that point, that's also connected to the mental side of things, because you're in a position where you're approaching the kicker or these rails, and you've got a lot of confidence in your own ability to do something. But that's also confidence in your body. Yeah. And if you do these exercises with the bands, and if you do this strength and conditioning training, it creates a psychological confidence in your own strength and your own body to say, I'm strong enough to do this. So when you approach something, you're already in a position where you say, well, I'm strong enough to do this. So I don't need to worry about my body. I trust my body and I'll let it happen. You said something about 10 minutes ago where you just went, it just kind of happens on its own. And that's the point where you need to be with these things, where it just happens on its own. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool, Chris. Really cool.
The body strengthening is so key to keeping all of your ligaments safe, because ligaments are the worst things to snap. They don't heal very well. Bones break, bones heal. Muscles, you can repair those. Ligaments, they're really difficult. You've got to get your muscles strong. You've got to get your joints strong. The muscles that protect your muscles and protect your joints, protect your ligaments. They're the really important things, I find. So I work on all of those areas to get as strong as possible. I mean, the winter season is coming up as well. So I want to make the winter season as long as possible. Last year was great. I was away, not often, maybe a week every month. But I was doing 3 or 4 days solid snowboarding, 6 to 8 hours a day, something like that. So it's a long day snowboarding for almost a week, Monday to Friday kind of. So it is a big ask. But then I go back home and I'm back at the indoor place snowboarding again every week. So, for me, snowboarding is just a part of my life. It doesn't stop.
Sure.
I'm just in different areas, different locations, different resorts, but it's always going to be there. So keeping the body as fit as possible for stamina, but also for the tricks I'm doing to keep it safe as well.
How do you kind of squeeze that into your week? I know you like to go on a Thursday and maybe a Saturday. How do you do the strength training? When does that happen?
Do you know what? I go and make a cup of tea, and then I'll put the resistance band on while I wait for the kettle to boil, or I'm waiting for something. I'm cooking some food or whatever. I'm doing it whilst I'm waiting. Yeah. So it's
stacking
like
some habits together.
Yeah. It's like I hate like, oh, it's time for gym time, or it's time for doing your fitness or whatever. I don't like that. That for me is bad. That doesn't work for me. Never has done. But if you can squeeze in doing like few exercises here and there when you've got some minutes, it's like quick wins, quick gains, without even doing an awful lot. You're working on parts of your body that will need it anyway. I mean, I'm like going to the fridge and doing lunges. Going to the freezer and doing lunges even lower just to work on like the hips and the knees and all of that. But it looks weird, if someone was looking in my window. I mean, well, firstly, that's a bit weird because it's a private place. But if there was someone at the
What's
window,
he doing in the fridge?
What are you doing? Why are you lunging at your freezer? But it works.
Why is the Pinot Grigio at the bottom?
Yeah, it's lunging towards his glass of wine each time. That's what. That's like a celebrate every time you do a lunge. But it works, and it's like you're doing it constantly. Just if you got some moments, some minutes here and there, just try and squeeze in as much as possible. Arms are a big one as well. Snowboarder shoulders are so bad, because if you fall, the first thing you do is you put your arms out. So a lot of people pop the shoulders or tear the rotator cuff or whatever it is. I've got like resistance bands on door handles, and wait for that. I'll do a few of these exercises, whatever it is. They're pretty strong now, just for doing that as much as I can, without having, as I say, like a dedicated time of, right, this is now gym time, this is working on that time. It's just like squeezing it in as much as I can when I can. That helps.
That Chris, that's called habit stacking, isn't it? So when someone's trying to do something, they normally would say, I haven't got the time to do it. Too busy after work. So you're kind of connecting making a brew or a coffee with doing a bit of resistance training stuff.
And you get a reward at the end of it. You get a coffee or something at the end. Or for some of us, that's a wine.
Can you tell me about these bands then? What's the kind of pack that you get, and what's the difference?
I mean, there's so many on Amazon. You can pick up a pack of 5 for £10, and you get like a really strong one, like extra heavy it's called, so you can barely like pull it apart, whereas the lowest one you can pull it apart with your fingers. It's just like a rubber band, maybe about that thick, maybe 2 inches thick, maybe 40-50 centimeters, unstretched, but some of them can stretch really far. Some of them, the extra heavy ones, whatever they're called, they don't stretch very far, but they're good for like strength building. But no, they're brilliant, and it's kind of like working with your muscles, doing what your muscles are doing. So the resistance band is kind of like whatever your muscles are working on, the resistance band's kind of doing the same thing. It's weird. It's weird how it feels, but they work, and they're cheap and they're quick to do, and you don't need to like commit too much time to doing it as well. But it's vital. You see a lot of pro snowboarders, they're using them for getting the ligaments ready, like a lot of knee work and stuff like that, because the knees is obviously really important for landing, obviously, and your ankles as well, hips, all of your joints really, but they just work really well. So I use them. I've used them for a long time. I had a physio, Duncan O'Connor. He used to work with he might even still do, the England rugby team. He's got me through some really tough times, like tough times, when I snapped my ACL, and working on some rehab there, and just other like hip problems, and the exercises he does and the assessments that he does and what the tips he can give you. He's brilliant, and I've taken that with me. Maybe that was like 15 years ago, but that doesn't leave you. That stuff he teaches you and you reuse it. It's kept me going. So man.
Do you think other snowboarders are doing something similar? Do you think they're doing this kind of strength training before they go?
I don't particularly know about the guys I ride with. We don't really get into like our training techniques. I think one or two of them maybe go to the gym, but I don't hear about any others, to be honest. Definitely.
Have you shared anything on Instagram?
Yeah, I've started posting them on there on this new business project to do it every snow day. Remember that's what it's called, every snow day. I was trying to think of a good name. Every damn day, every damn snow day, because in my world, every day is a snow day. I can always go to an indoor place, 5 of them in this country, so many of them outdoors, the dry slopes. I go to the one in Oslo very often. There is always a snow day in my life, so sure. That's where every snow day came from. But yeah, I'm posting them, so maybe someone else will watch them and use them. I hope it helps.
It'd be good to see. It'd be good to see the exercises that you're doing, Chris, and see how you use these bands. Cool that. It's
Absolutely.
quite interesting. That.
I'll add a link in the show notes to the videos. Also on YouTube. But it's if it helps, because like we went back to we go back a few conversations. We talk about your mind and your body. If your body's not strong, you don't feel confident doing these tricks, because why would you want to fly through the air, land badly, and know that you're going to break something, snap something, So it is a confidence thing. It is like a strength thing as well. They do go hand in hand. So
yeah, well, if you're approaching something and you've got doubts about the power in your legs or your confidence to get like that high, then those doubts are going to like manifest themselves in your body, and you're going to become stiff and rigid and slow, and you're just not going to be able to do it. So you've got to train the body and the mind at the same time. And in my work, once you start to trust your body, then you can kind of like forget about that aspect of it.
Yeah, you're always going to pick up little niggles here and there, or if it really is a bad one, it's a bad one. It's just one of those things. Shit happens. You can't avoid it. But if you're working on these tricks that aren't demanding too much, and your body's in the right place for it, that's great. I mean, I'm not doing anything particularly crazy. I don't do upside down invert tricks like that. I'm not. Oh, having said that, on Thursday there was 1 or 2 360s where I felt like I was rotating my board above my head a little bit. So maybe that's a natural progression. It's like the confidence that I'm not just spinning around, I'm actually putting a little bit of invert into it. So, but again, that just comes with confidence and just trying different things and being comfortable with it. But I think that's
and people of your kind of like age and experience, Chris, how much risk are they taking? And you're saying you're trying new things. Are you trying new things within the same skill set, or are you really kind of challenging yourself, do you think?
I wouldn't say I'm going too far. I don't do I don't really do upside down tricks. As I say, the last one was slightly, my board was up here somewhere, but it wasn't anything, I wasn't upside down doing. I don't know if I'll ever do those. I haven't thought about doing those. I will never say no. I just haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Maybe some rail tricks. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just trying to be as comfortable as I can with the tricks I've got at the moment, getting them as natural and as automatic as possible. And then in time, other additions to those tricks will probably come. I was thinking about, let's do a grab trick as we've just jumped off the rail. And that's something different, a bit new. Or doing a butter. So a butter is where say with your snowboard, you're leaning on your heel edge or heel, and you kind of like spinning around. Your board's up here maybe, and your feet are down there, and you kind of spinning around. They're kind of like a butter trick. There's so many different ones where you're spinning around and all of this. Maybe doing a rail and then doing a butter trick, landing that and trying a few things. Just I feel like the rails are in a good place. I can add additions to them now, and with the kickers, with the 360s, I feel I can do slight changes to them as well, like progress them, change them around a little bit. But that just comes with just repetition, doing as many as you can, being as comfortable as possible. Yeah.
Do you think it would be possible for you to do one of these kind of upside down tricks at some point?
Technically, yeah. I mean, there's nothing physically stopping me doing it. I mean, I just haven't really thought about it. I mean, I've seen people do it. I just go, you're fucking mental. What are you doing? I mean, it's impressive. If you can flip upside down and land it, it looks amazing. It really does. I've got a lot to say for people that do that, and it is impressive. I've just never thought about doing it myself. I'd just rather just watch other people go, yeah, nice.
Sure.
But then they might look at me and go, oh, he's doing some good 360s, or he's done that rail nice. I mean, I don't really, as I said this in the past, I don't do it for other people. It's nice to hear comments, but I do it for myself. But sure. I like to see other people do some good tricks, and those upside down ones are amazing to watch. They really are. But maybe one day. Do
you get a lot of feedback and a lot of support while you're on the slopes? If you do something good, do you feel that like? from the other
I,
boarders?
yeah, I've definitely started to get more comments in the last few weeks. Just that 360 looked good, or that was massive, or you're looking good on rails, or some comments like that. So they're nice to hear, or some tips. You know, there's a few people that say maybe approach it this way or try it this way, or yeah, just we help each other out.
How does that work for you? Does that
I always
help you?
listen. Yeah, I always
Yeah.
listen. You know, if there's things that maybe I'm not doing right, I know that I do my front side 360s. They're technically not great. I get them round, so that's where you jump off and you're facing down the slope before you've done your rotation. Whereas a backside 360, your back is facing down the slope whilst you take off. So that's how it is. The front sides are always a bit scrappy as a take off, but I know this, and it comes down to my approach. And if I see like slush or snow in front of the kicker, it really puts me off. But that's technique. That's technique. I know that issue, but I need to have the right kicker to do that, because it's really difficult to jump off your heels. You try it, it's difficult, and imagine doing that with a snowboard tree. It's really difficult. So that's my worst.
So you get some people around you that kind of say, hey, you know, maybe change something and stuff like that.
We draw in the snow, so then they say you're doing this, try this. So that helps, that visualization of seeing it, and then I'm like, okay, like that, try and imagine like a line of where I'm about to take off and do things like that. That helps as well. But it's it's a good community for the people that want the help and are willing to help as well. You know, they are good people out there.
Yeah, sure. And do you find it's different in different like locations? For example, in Oslo or in Manchester or somewhere.
I don't really get any comments in Oslo. I know one of the guys that works there, so I have some conversations with him. We have a ride together now. He works there, so you know, whenever he's got some time off, we'll have a ride together and just, you know, shout a few things. But no, in Oslo, I just get on with it myself. When I go to a resort, it's on my own. I get some help when I'm at Manchester, chill factor there. Not so much in Tamworth because they don't really know me. But I hear a few woos now and again, so maybe it looks good. But yeah, no, because you know it's a local community in the one in Yorkshire. We just help each other out. We see the same people each week. We know the levels that everyone's at. You know, one of my mates, he was just sat there at the start, and I was like, "What's up with you?" And he said, "I think I've broke my thumb." It's like, "Okay, right, go in my bag, go and get some ibuprofen, and we'll get you going." And then like half an hour later, he was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like, you know, he was having a good night. It's like we just help each other out. You know, it's that kind of place. So it's a good community. Yeah, it's nice, man. It's nice.
Yeah, that's important, I think, isn't it? It's important that you've got some kind of feedback, not only your own feedback, but feedback from others.
Yeah.
You've got a little bit of a support group or support network where you can get advice, or you can get ibuprofen, or you can get some tips and stuff like that.
I'll always have the drugs, man. I'll always have the Well, I've just bought an Insta360. It's a 360 camera. So I'm going to try mounting that at different areas so I can see, you know, firsthand what I'm doing. Because if the camera's constantly running, I can review it at some point, maybe try a few things, and there's a few features on there. There's a few like little features that I want to try on the camera to try and get some good shots as well. But it would actually help to see how I am, because it's very rare that people film me, and I prefer that, because when the camera comes out, the shit hits the fan. So I tend not.
No, but definitely, Chris, that kind of like feedback where instead of having the good, bad. Yeah. Good, bad feedback.
All of it.
You're now having feedback to your kind of body to say, do this or change this. Yeah. And that's really important, because if you get in that negative positive cycle, you're not trusting your body, you're not trusting yourself, because that one was good, that one was bad. That does not help. You've got to give yourself some kind of instruction to say, do X. Or approach at a different angle, or get more like takeoff. Just being positive and negative or getting frustrated it's not going to help with the mental side of it.
The drop off at the end of the session is the frustrating bit for me, and I'm just not strict enough to say, right, man, you've been doing this trick for 2 hours, just stop, do something else. But it's so difficult. Once you've got it, you just want to keep doing it because it feels so good. But you just lose like the energy levels, and you get sloppy, and it doesn't work out, and you frustrate yourself, and just like towards the end of the night, it just falls off. So I need to.
And are you just going and just hammering it for 3 hours, or do you have a break? Yeah. Do you have some lunch?
No, I stop. Yeah, I stop halfway. Just sort of have a bit of a sit down. Just do something other than snowboard, and just try and 5-10 minutes, just relax, chill out, and then get back to it. Get the adrenaline levels back up. But.
And is there a difference between that kind of when you start and you kind of like second half in the performance?
Yeah, I've had time to reflect. So a little sit down, I have time to like just switch off, and then it's like session 2 is now beginning. Let's see what we can do in this session. Whether we do some switch riding, because I don't do enough switch riding, or whether we just try and carry on, or just try and get one more good 360 in, or try and get that rail in and just nail it and just be happy with it, and then leave it as that. Again, I don't particularly have plans. I just I want to work on this trick this week, and that's about it. And then maybe have a fallback trick. So like maybe 2 or 3 tricks that I want to try, or something new, or something just pops into my head and I want to try that. So, but yeah, just having.
Are you planning that on the break? So before the second session, is that something that you would organise in your head?
No, I think usually the second session is just having a rest, and then just trying to like polish it off, polish off the tricks, and just get them as best as they can before I'm too knackered to do anything else. Because it is at that point when I'm usually having a break anyway. It's like, yeah, I've needed a break for a reason. So getting the energy levels back up to where they were halfway through session 1, it's quite difficult. Yeah, it's just reflection time. Just see if we can get back to where we were and carry on. And if not, it's like, okay, we tried enough for tonight. Let's just do something completely simple. And it's usually just, let's just do some basic rails, just jump over the kicker, do nothing spectacular, just enjoy it, just have some fun. I say that to people. I say, I can't do anything else now, I'm just gonna have some fun. Which it sounds terrible. It sounds like I'm not enjoying everything I'm doing, but when I'm focused on tricks, it's like I'm focused, I'm concentrating. It's fun, I love doing it, but I'm focused. Whereas at the end of the session, when I'm just like bombing around, just trying anything, doesn't matter. That's having fun, like big smile on my face, and just, it doesn't matter. Just try a trick here and there, just wing it.
That's a bit like we were talking about a few weeks ago when we were talking about learning, challenging and fun aspects of the session, isn't it? It's like, okay, well, the first part of the session, that's where you're going to kind of challenge yourself, isn't it? Because you've got the energy levels, you've got strength and stuff like that. The second part of the session, you can have a bit more fun, can't you? Because you know that you've not got the strength or the capabilities to do that. Right? Yeah, it's good that, Chris. It's good. Yeah, nice setup.
Yeah, it's been good for you weeks.
Because if you didn't have that, if you still tried like pushing yourself in the second part, you're probably going to get a bit frustrated. You might hurt yourself.
Yeah, I honestly, it's mentally have to be strict. Like, it's not working, you're going to frustrate yourself. But also, that's when the errors start happening, when you're sloppy and you're tired. It's like you need to be strict and say, right, you're not doing the tricks. You're trying to do these really difficult tricks that require a lot of energy, a lot of physical exertion, strength and all that. You haven't got that right now, man. Just stop doing them, because you're going to damage something. It's not going to go too well. Sure. So it's a case of, right, that's it. Enough. Just chill out now. Just enjoy, bomb around. I think they call it party laps in ski resort, which you basically just bombing around. You've had like a whole day of like shredding and doing tricks and trying new things. But with party laps are where you're just basically going home, or just bombing around, just ready to get done for the day, I think. So yeah,
you've got to have that balance. You've got to have the balance between the challenge, the learning, and the fun. Because if it's too challenging all the time, you're probably going to get bored.
Yeah.
If you're not learning anything, you're probably going to get a bit frustrated, and you know, you've got to have the awareness to build that into your session, to say, right, okay, energy levels are gone, legs are a bit tired, let's do some kind of fun stuff, hang out with the guys or whatever. It's good, that, Chris. Really good, well organized, actually. It's good, that.
Nice.
Just on that point about the kickers, I know we spoke a little bit about it on WhatsApp. You said like a few weeks ago that there'd been some kind of sloppy kickers and uncomfortable kickers for you. What was that about?
They just haven't fitted with my style, I think. The main guy that does the kickers at Yorkshire, he's been off, and he makes the best kickers in the country. That's what I say, anyway. And when he's not doing them, you know about it. you know the standard's not the same, because he's incredible. It's like, it's perfect. You know, those kickers are spot on. But yeah, some of them have just been, they just haven't suited my style, or I'm not quite there yet to try tricks when they're in those shapes. Like, some of them look more like quarter pipes rather than a kicker. You know, a kicker is like supposed to like send you up but across, whereas some of them have just sent you up. So they've been not working with me, and that's frustrated me, because I'll go with like a plan. I want to work on this 360, that 360. I want to try this. And you can't do it. It's like, well, okay, I came to do this. What's your backup? You know, what's your backup plan? So it'd have to be rails, because there's always rails or two, something to work on. But yeah, that could be. And
is that a mistake from the people caring for the kicker or preparing the kicker, or is it just that's a type of kicker that you would use or come across?
No, I don't think I'd use. Different? Yeah, no, I don't think I'd use those kickers anywhere. To be honest, they're just not how I would ride or how I'd use them. They just not work with me personally. And I know other people have managed to get on with them. You know, that's cool. I've seen plenty of other people doing tricks over them. It's like, yeah, cool. For me, just I'm not quite there to be able to send it across when the kicker sends you up. I was trying to work out. I started doing. Can I try and learn hand plants over this, since it's sending you up, and you actually learn hand plants on like an up, like an incline kind of slope, or a quarter pipe or something. Flip your board upside down, put your hand on the top of the slope, and then you go down. I still haven't worked it out yet, but that's another trick I want to do, because it looks cool. No, it has frustrated me, but you're not gonna get perfection every time at those sort of places. You know, they do brilliant jobs, you know, every week. It's demanding for them. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people. And they do a good job, but just now and again, it just some of the things just don't work out, or don't work out.
From a session perspective, Chris, if you go there on Thursday now, and the kicker is like that, the same. What do you do? What do you do?
It's I'll be like, okay, again, frustrated that I can't work on the kickers again, so I'll do some rails, or I'll use the kicker in a different way. I'll try and be creative with it. You've got to accept, you want to go with a mission. It's not always going to work out. You know, you're not always going to be able to do that. Things aren't going to be the way you want it to be. You've got to be able to adapt. You've got to be able to accept that it's not going to be what you want it to be every time. I've been away, you know, a lot of these resorts, and I wanted to do things, and the kick has just been trashed, or it's too icy, I can't grip properly, you know, or just things like that. That just happens everywhere you go. So I'm talking Yorkshire because I go there every week, so you know, that's my spot. But when I go away, I'm going away to enjoy it, and you know, get away and do some snowboarding, learn some new tricks, try some things and all that. And when you can't do it, it's like, come all this way and I can't do what I want to do. That's frustrating. But yeah, it's just, you just have to change.
Do you have enough? Do you have enough ideas, and do you have enough things to do on the rail, for example? If you arrive, I think so. And the kick is in that state.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's always plenty to work on. It just might not be the ones that were at the top of your list at the start of the day. So you just have to change your plans. It's frustrating. Sure. Like, you have to change your plans. If you know, you should be able to go and work on what you want to do, but you need to have that ability to adapt to what is there as well, because it's not always going to be what you want. And it hasn't been.
from my perspective, it sounds a bit strange that they would prepare the kicker in a way that's like difficult for people to use. I don't
Yeah.
quite understand that
No,
part.
I don't understand that one. I don't know whether it was just done wrong or it was intended. I'm not sure the reason behind. And it was a couple of weeks actually. A couple of weeks the kicker was a bit weird like that. Just strange. I don't know whether they're trying something. I don't know. Don't know the answer to that. Yeah, it was.
Because you think they'd want to prepare everything in the best way possible so that people get the most out of the session.
Us freestylers that go there Thursday and Friday, we basically keep that place open during the summer because they're not getting as much money from all the lessons. They're not getting all the usual winter lot. They're all doing their summer sports. But us regulars, we keep that place open. That's probably giving us a lot of credit there, but we bring a lot of money to that place in the summertime when it's off season, But as I said in the previous episode, we don't have off season. Every week is we're always snowboarding. We can always snowboard.
Every day snow.
Yeah, every snow day.
Every snow day. Sorry.
Every damn day you can snowboard. It's but yeah, they do listen. They do listen to us as well. So if the things that aren't right, you can have a chat with them and they will fix it. So they are good like that. Just now and again they're just not at the standard that you expect.
Right.
Just how it is. Just how it is.
So. Before we finish, Chris, have you made any plans for November and December and January?
Well, I'm starting a new contract soon, so I just want to get into that. Just work out all the ins and outs of everything, and then I can start working out when I can get away and how that's all going to work. So, I think all the resorts in Norway are starting to open now. There's all the snowmaking machines on. All the family runs are open in all the resorts that are more north. So they're getting there. I think December is when they open properly.
Right.
Big kickers and features are all out and all of that, the proper parks. So I'm aiming middle of December, I think, to start getting going. But I haven't made any concrete plans yet. It's nice having a place over there. All I need to do is book a plane ticket, make sure the Huskies are looked after, and that's about it. That's all I need to worry about. So for me, it's very easy to just book a week, and I can work out there anyway. So as long as I've got the internet, I'm all right. It's not a problem for me. But that's the plan. And then until April, just try and get away every month. There's about 3 or 4 resorts that I haven't been to across there yet, and I want to review them. The website that I'm doing, it's also reviewing resorts as well. It's not just reviewing products and exercise resistance band exercise. It's a bit more than that. I'm reviewing resorts as well, so people can learn a little bit about where they're going beforehand as well. And my experiences, there's so many different sites out there, sharing their reviews, but I want to share my reviews and my thoughts on it as well. So there's about 3 or 4 I want to go to. So that's my winter plans. So watch this space. We'll have to do a podcast across there, man.
It'd be good to
try
and
do at the end of a snowboard day or something. I'll try and hook up maybe just a brief live show or something, just so we can go through how the day was, and we'll talk about that. That'd be quite cool.
It'd be good to see the setup there and have a different environment. That'd be cool, Chris. Good idea. I like it.
We'll revisit that idea, I think. Man, this has been quite an epic episode. I know,
really we've been talking and exploring. Yeah, it's been great, Chris. Really good.
I've really enjoyed hearing about your marathon, man, and I'm so super proud to hear how you've done.
Cheers, man.
The time and you're getting through it, and the fact that you want to do another one. I mean, you're nuts, but I think that's amazing. Nice one, man.
What I forgot to tell you was I did it on the Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And then it got to kind of Tuesday, and I was like, I'll just go for a training run. I did like 8 kilometers on the Tuesday.
But that's a good thing. That keeps your body moving, though, isn't it? Wouldn't it seize up if you didn't do that? I don't know. With running.
Oh, Monday, Sunday afternoon and Monday, I didn't go very far.
Yeah. But you're keeping things moving, so
Yeah, keeping things moving. And it's a bit like you with your snowboarding sessions, you know, once the adrenaline gets going and you get a little bit addicted to it. I got a little bit addicted to it. So I got to Tuesday and it's like, yeah, I'm going for a run. And I went for just an 8-kilometer kind of leisurely pace, and everything was stiff and sore, but yeah, it felt good to get out again. So
I can't wait to hear about the next one, man. Let's
the
leave it there.
The next one is definitely at sea level in a colder temperature. Because I don't want to do the same as last time. It's too hot.
I wanna hear about this. Thanks.
I should get over to Yorkshire, shouldn't I?
It's raining a lot, man. It's been raining for about 3 months non-stop. It's been crazy. No, get across here. We need to go and have a beer. We'll maybe have a live podcast. We'll get together and do that. Nice.
Live from Yorkshire, that'd be great, man. Cool. Cheers,
Awesome,
Chris.
man.
I really enjoyed that, man.
Yeah.
Thanks
You
for sharing
too.
some
And
stuff. Cool.
thank you everyone who's watched and all the comments. I've had some brilliant comments from people. They've really enjoyed what they've heard so far. So we're doing something good for some people. So thank you everyone out there for those comments. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And hey, we'll see you all very soon. You take care.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.
See you now.
Bye.
Bye.